Pittsburgh finished first in the division at 12-4. Lost the West. They lost a wild card game at home to Cleveland to end their season last year.
Sure did.
What are your expectations for the Pittsburgh Steelers?
So expectations for this team coming into the 2021 season. We always know about the Steelers defense. That's always been the culture of the team. TJ Watt, some people there in the secondary, Minka Fitzpatrick, and we know that this team year in and year out is always going to come and ball out with a fantastic defense. Another thing I think they expect, TJ Watt might get some Defensive Player of the Year votes. Another thing is Najee Harris being drafted in the first round. Steelers have constantly struggled to run the football, it feels like, since the Le'Veon Bell days. James Conner is now out of town. So they knew they had a need to fill. And a big reason that the Steelers were not able to perform last year in the playoffs and late in the season in those November, December games is because they couldn't run the football. And we know Big Ben does not have the arm or just the effect on the game, like he used to. And then lastly, can the offense produce with Big Ben and that wide receiver core? I think Big Ben, unfortunately, I'm not going to say he's a bad quarterback, but he's slipping from average to bad in a lot of situations where he doesn't need to. And it's starting to hold that Steelers team back. And I know he had yards and he had, 30-plus touchdowns. I think 10 picks only. People were actually trying to say last year, wow, nobody's talking about Big Ben for MVP. Let's pump the brakes now. Let's hold on for a second. He's easily not the best player on that team, but we know MVP's a quarterback award. Either way, though, let's go on to reality. Don't shoot me, Steelers fans. I think y'all are going 8-9 this year, though. I think Big Ben is a huge reason that y'all are going to be held back. I don't know about the offense overall meshing. And is Ben going to improve as these quarterbacks get older? We've seen them potentially fall down the hill. Then you take a look at TJ Watt. I think he'll be fine. Like I mentioned about TJ Watt and the expectations, he'll get Defensive Player of the Year votes, and I think he'll be there to spearhead that defense and contribute to that Steelers culture like we've always seen. And then Najee Harris, I think he'll be a 1,000-yard rusher. Najee coming in, being that late first-round pick, it really was kind of the best situation for the Steelers. Like I mentioned early on, no running game late in the year. So Najee's going to have to be that guy. He's going to have to be the running back one. Big bell cow back, 3-down, 4-down guy. So I think the Steelers are going to get everything they're looking for besides the record, 8-9, and we'll reveal to you at the end how we have the whole division playing out.
Right, I see. I mean, I think the expectations for the Pittsburgh Steelers are for them to go a solid 14-3, win the division, deep playoff, possibly Super Bowl run. So, I mean, they have expectations of pure greatness based off of their past winnings, which are in the far distant past. That's what their expectations are. A reality check for Pittsburgh. Last season, 8 out of those 11 wins to start the 11-0 season were within one possession. They played a very favorable schedule in that run where they played all run-heavy teams. That was the strength of their defense. They could stop the run, and they played a bunch of teams that rely on the run. That's not the case this year, and they lost a lot of key players. They lost Bud Dupree. They lost Pouncey. They lost James Conner. They lost Eric Ebron. They're counting on a lot of rookies to plug a whole lot of holes, and they're counting on an old Big Ben to somehow figure he's lost weight, and that means that he's suddenly going to be better.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we look at the NFC North. That's the NFC division they play. Against Green Bay, Chicago, Minnesota, and Detroit, I got them going 2-2. Against the AFC West, KC, Vegas, the Chargers, and the Broncos, I have them also at 2-2 against that division. I mean, they play at Green Bay and at Kansas City. They have no favor of schedule this year. There are 3 games that are based off of where they finished the division last year, seeing as how they won the division. They play at Buffalo. They got Tennessee and Seattle. I got them going 1-2 in those games. So, I mean, it's already not looking great. Within their division, they got to play Cleveland twice, Baltimore twice, and Cincinnati twice. I got them splitting with all 3. They will not sweep any of them.
I had Ravens and Browns sweeping. Honestly, I really did. And I even had them losing once to the Bengals.
I couldn't even be mad at that. But I gave them 3-3 in the division, which ultimately gave me 8-9.
Yeah.
So you, me, and Colin all came up with the same record for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Is Colin back on the air? Is he doing okay?
Came back like yesterday.
Did he explain why he was gone?
No, but I didn't even listen.
Bastard. Abandoning us like that.
But collectively, we all have the Pittsburgh Steelers at 8-9. This will be the first losing season for Mike Tomlin in his regime. It's not a knock on him. You're playing a full schedule of teams that air the ball out. The secondary is the worst part of your defense, and your offense is yet to show that they can actually produce. They only scored 30-plus points in 3 of 16 games last year. You're going to need a lot more of that
in today's
in order
NFL,
to win this year, especially against all these teams that will be airing the ball out. I have no faith in Pittsburgh. They'll be sub 500, no playoffs, and they'll have massive questions at the end of the season as to what they're going to do at quarterback.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. 100%.